Hey, all right. It's great to be here with everybody. I love this circle. We've got a few of the guys here and excited to have this conversation. And today we're talking about how are we living better than those before us. I think it's important for us to always continue to elevate. I look at one, we have borrowed this world from the next 7 generations to come, and it's up to us to figure out how to leave it in a better way so that we can leave it for those to come to be better than where we are. And so I'm excited for this conversation. Look forward to it. Thank you for joining. We'll see you in a moment. Thanks. Peace.
When I am asked to speak, I embrace the calling. It is my responsibility to make sure to leave everyone inspired to elevate in all aspects of life. In the 26 states and 10 countries, it has been my energy that is infectious and magical. The impact elevates everyone to new heights. It's time to conquer our challenges. Relationships across the board, communication gaps, fear of the unknown, limited beliefs, and all that holds us hostage in life. The path to power is peace, and peace is the power to live by. The unique perspective that I bring to the table inspires all, professionals, executives, students, coaches, and athletes, to reach their highest potential. That is why I, Sid McNairy, am known as the secret weapon. Whether it is tackling mental health issues, success in business, or winning at life, every moment counts. Get ready to receive the tools to win. It's time to win at everything. Let's connect today. Peace.
Hello, my name is Miles. Discover a powerful journey of resilience, purpose, and spiritual growth in the autobiography of a human by Sid McNairy. In this compelling autobiography, McNairy shares the personal challenges and triumphs that shaped his path to success while offering insight for professionals seeking deeper meaning and balance in their own lives. Drawing from his experiences growing up Catholic, participating in indigenous vision quests, and studying the Buddhist path, he reveals how diverse spiritual traditions ultimately guide us toward the same destination: connection with the Creator and our highest selves. Through practices such as meditation, yoga, and spirit medicine, McNairy demonstrates how life's victories and hardships can become opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and lasting peace. The autobiography of a human is more than a memoir. It is an inspiring reflection for professionals striving to align purpose, personal development, and inner clarity. Available now on Amazon, this transformative story invites readers to reflect, grow, and step confidently onto their own path of self-discovery and peace.
All righty. We're back and let's get the guys up and get this party started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you
What's
all
up,
are
gentlemen?
What's up, gentlemen?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
here. Yeah, for sure. All of the above, somewhere in the world.
Yep.
Can you all hear me?
I can hear you and can see you.
Okay, because
I
Tony
can't
just
smell
did
you,
that.
which is probably a good thing. I don't know.
Tony, you might be your glitch in the matrix over there.
Who's glitching?
Tony, he can't hear yet.
Yeah.
So want to just kind of circle back. Last week we talked about what it is to be a man. And here we are this week talking about, let's see. Okay, now I can hear. Let me remove this, Tony. All right, so now we're stepping into this place of how are we living better than those before? And that, in some ways, as a whole, I think we aren't. Right? Like I look at this point in our time, why are we not figuring out a way to be beyond war? Like to me, we live in this 10,000-year-old mindset that's like a caveman had to go find had to go and find the honeycomb to have sugar, to gain fat, and yet we have electricity, we have heat, and we still have the honeycomb at every exit aisle of most stores, right? Like you can get your sugar and get fat, and most people are way fatter than the caveman because we still have a 10,000-year-old mind. Like sugar's not available. You know, that the aspect of war, the space that we can't figure out how to give to everyone when I don't know, what is it, 2% of the money is in of all money is in basically in 2% of the people. We can't figure this out yet. So we've gone into a dark space in many ways, in my opinion, and it's up to us to shift it so we can move it forward for everyone. That's just what's hitting me as I open this up, and I'll leave it open to anyone who wants to share into it as we start.
Yeah, that's the mind-boggling aspect of what's going on. And Sid, I like that you started with that. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, we have so much access to mental health, and mental health antidepressants are at an all-time high and being prescribed, but it doesn't seem like we're making any inroads in that. And you know, it goes back to what we were kind of talking about before we went live on the air, and talking about the ego, and wondering, you know, if we are in a better place and we have access to more information and more access to technology and more access to health and coaching and things of that nature, why aren't we healing as a society? Why is it still that pendulum of who has and who hasn't is getting broader and appears to be continuing to be that way? When the opportunity there for collaboration and community can be so much greater. So yeah, I agree. There's so many opportunities right now that things are better and we have access to things, but at the same time, it really causes me to go like, okay, why? What is the lesson that we have to learn here, and how is that lesson going to be learned?
Yeah, I want to piggyback and add to that what you stated. Things have changed.
Well, I'll jump in and say, I agree with both you guys, and I think that in a time,
It's all right. I mean, Tony, I don't think you can hear still. Which is okay.
I can hear now.
Oh, you can.
But okay. He stopped speaking, so I figured I'd jump in. But
yeah.
But I'll
right. But that's where I didn't think you could hear Coach Hightower. And
I didn't hear Coach Hightower at all.
Okay, yeah.
I still can't hear him, oddly enough.
Check. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can.
All right, I'll jump out again, come back in.
Okay. So that goes back to my point I was making. We have made some strides in regards to how we're living now versus back then. Back then, they had to fight battles that's different now. They fought under pressure. They had less tools, less information, less distractions. However, and the point that Tony just made, even with the food, we have modern medicine have changed that we have access to different things. But when you also throw in the chemicals that's in the food, that takes away. We had real food back then. We was actually getting, real nutrition from food. Now everything is biodegradable. So you play another factor throws in that kind of throws off. Are we really living better? We have access to things. Technology is changing, but as technology is changing, we have other curveballs that's coming in the way. Even with technology, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift because we have access to information, we can move faster, but also we're compromising how much of our identity and our privacy we want to give up. So it's many factors, and I think living better this is a good segment, but it's relatively speaking what that looks like for each and every one.
All right, Tony.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Yeah, sorry about that, Coach Hightower.
Did you hear him this time though?
I did hear him.
Okay,
but let's make sure. Let's see if I can hear everybody now, because so
everybody.
There you go. Got everybody.
No, we're singing.
Sorry about that before.
It's
it's weird. So it's interesting because in a world where we're more connected than ever, we're less connected than ever. In a world where information is at our fingertips, we are dumber than ever. Years ago, they used to say that there's a lot of people that were not informed because of lack of knowledge or lack of access to the information. Now we have more access and more information than we know what to do with, yet we're still the brain trust is rapidly sinking. I think the IQ is just lowering across, across most of the world, because we get a little too complacent. We're not the struggle. I think that one of the things that we're dealing with is the struggle, the quote that's saying, oh, the struggle is real. No, most of the struggles are in your head, and most people don't struggle at all. Nobody's worried about the saber-toothed tiger outside. Most people aren't worried about where the next meal is coming from. Most people are living in the secure world, right? Some people aren't, right? A lot of people don't have food security or safety. Yet again, we're living in the best of times, and some might say the worst of times, because we are so disconnected. But I'm with Coach Hightower. The food isn't the same. Our nutrients aren't the same. We have a lot of things working against us, including those that are supposed to be looking out. So it's just interesting for sure.
Yeah, I'll jump in, and you all went with food as part of the conversation, and yeah, it baffles me that in some countries we've got Bill Gates getting in trouble and getting his food banned, right? Like that he created a cell that continues to multiply itself to make fake meat. And in doing that, the only cell that really multiplies at that magnitude is cancer. So I think there should be, and I'm not sure about policing it other than we police it ourselves, which we have that power, right? Like, and we have that ability in this space where we can send text messages that can echo all over the world. And then it's like, okay, how do we make sure that everyone is policing it themselves? Like, I refuse to buy food with fake sugar in it. 19 years ago, in 19 years, I just went to the first, maybe a month ago, the first AA meeting, 19 years alcohol free. Like, now I chose it because I started to recognize, okay, if I'm going to be this guy of peace, the number one day of domestic violence because of alcohol is Super Bowl Sunday. So that all instantly hit my heart. Like, okay, well then I'm not drinking on Super Bowl at least. And then it echoed into, okay, I am going to be the one that will show people it can be different. Like really taking that level of responsibility on. And I've actually talked to people that drink like they want to, like fish. And yet they stand for, in their mind, the against domestic violence. Well, no, you don't. The truth is you don't. Because I just told you what that looks like. And if you're still doing it, you actually stand with it. You're still giving it access to everyone. And now most people don't really talk like on that level. Like, no, you're actually part of the problem. You voted for this person and you don't like them now, you're part of the problem. You didn't do your work. You didn't do your research. You didn't live into something. It's like that old statement, and I'm going to stop with this. Stand for something or fall for everything. I stand for character first. So when people ask me who I was voting for, I'm like, character, and it ain't showing up. So I ain't voting for these people. Like, I won't do it. Like, character first.
How do you define character in your perspective, Sid? I think that'd be an important delineation for people who are listening.
I think for me, character is what you do when you're alone and how it affects other people. Like when no one's watching, your character is who you are. And it starts with a thought that creates the action that creates a habit, and your habit done over and over again is the character everybody sees about you. That's it. And if you want to change your character, change yourself, stop doing the things that make you look like what you look like. If there's something that way, right? Like if you're somebody that's getting in trouble with the police all the time, maybe you need to change your habits to change your character and how you're viewed. If every time you get pulled over by the cops and you're ballistic, I hate to break it, but you're going to have a problem. That's real. And I'm not saying that there aren't police officers with piss poor character, because there are. Yet I have to hold myself responsible. I just got pulled over 2 weekends ago. My wife, who's absolutely amazing, her birthday is in December. And when we got pulled over, fortunately, the cop walked up. And I think cops are on edge to make things easier now, which they should be, because they've had a couple bad apples. So this cop walks up, and here's Dr. Vibe. Glad he's here. This cop walks up and says, whose birthday's in December? And I'm like, and I knew exactly what I was asking. So I was just like, it ain't mine. It's this person right next to me. Call my wife.
How did he know that?
Because in Florida, it expires on your birthday, your license tag.
Oh, really? Your license plate tag?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then, so I'm like, all right, let me lean back. Y'all have this conversation because this ain't my car. I'm just driving today. And and he laughed and instantly we went home and she cleared it up, and I know she'll have it done next December and all that. Well, she actually paid a couple in advance just so that we do stay clear. But yeah, I think that's such an important piece, that we have to take ownership of how life is showing up around us because we are in it. That's your character. That the habits repeated over and over and over again determine where we are. You know, it's like this quote I put up. All life is determined by your connection. Your connection to God will determine how your life shows up for you. If your life is always angry, God will be like, hey, they must like that. Let me give them some more angry moments. You know, if your life is peaceful, oh, Sid, he seems to like peace. Let me give him this, and let's even challenge him. I'm gonna give him some of these things to see if he's really at peace. Oh, he is. So I don't have to keep giving him that because he's still holding the peace. You know, I think that's a big thing for me when I look at people and taking accountability for how we move through life.
You said a couple of things. You said accountability and responsibility, and I love that, Sid, because so oftentimes people aren't being responsible or accountable for their actions. They feel helpless and hopeless, like, oh, everything I try doesn't work. And it goes back to that self-fulfilling prophecy of what you focus on most is what you get. What do you guys think about ways we can inspire people to accept that responsibility and realize that each of us can have that impact within ourselves first? Because so oftentimes we're trying to change everything else. And I was guilty of that. I was trying to change the world and make the world a better place. And then I realized that there was a part of me that wasn't being congruent. So I started working on myself and realizing, okay, there's certain aspects of my life that I need to take that responsibility for and change. And when I started doing that, the ripple effects of what it is that I was able to have causation for really started to dramatically improve. But I'm finding in conversations that I'm having with people, they're feeling like, why bother? Nothing I can do can really make a difference. It's already predetermined and all that stuff. How can we, what do you guys think? Because we got some amazing people here. What can we say to the men and women that are listening to have them be inspired to start making that gradual change within themselves and have that ripple effect seep out to the people that are closest to them?
Well, Chris, I would say, based off my personal experience and after serving more than 2 decades for this country in the United States Army, I realized once I left the military, I had to start working on myself. I had to get past all the war, all the different leadership. And I realized the leadership I was taught in the military is completely different than the leadership in the private sector. So when I started to work on myself, and a lot of this is limited beliefs and other barriers that stop us, but it's the self-work. We have to do the self-work. We have more tools than ever at our disposal, but are we really using these tools? I meet and talk to some successful leaders that's doing some amazing things. But when you talk about personal, sometimes their interactions is not good with their significant other. They might not have good interactions with their children. And it's usually those soft skills that's stopping us from elevating. So my answer to that, it goes back to the self-work. We have to work on the self-work. And Dr. Vibe and Tony talked about it great last week on the podcast with Sid, the emotional intelligence and awareness part of it. So it all requires self-work before we can even go any further than that. And I think that was a great question that you proposed, Tony. Chris.
If I have permission to jump in, sorry for the delay of coming in. when I encounter people like that, I ask them a question: have you overcome anything in your life? Have they succeeded with anything, even if it's a small thing in their life? Because most people think they haven't achieved or given up, but I want them to reflect and say, hey, have you ever been challenged with something in life and you overcome it? Yeah, I did. So I'm switching the mindset, saying, I can't make a change. And I say, tell me what that challenge was. Have them reflect on that and have their mindset saying that I can't do anything. Oh, I was in this situation. I was able to come out on the winning side. Just a thought.
Mm-hmm. Usually there's leverage involved. It usually the matter becomes greater than what it is that they originally thought it was going to be, and then they had no other choice but to make that change. And that's the thing I want to inspire people, is to realize that each and every day, that if you just focus on one little aspect of yourself in your life and you treat yourself a little bit better. I was just talking about this on my podcast last night, talking about that negative self-talk. Would you be proud if your thoughts were a loudspeaker and people around you could hear what it is that you're saying? And most people sit there and say, no, we put on a certain face for everybody else and be strong, and you could do this and you could do this. But our own negative self-talk and our own negative self-worth really impacts our belief that we can make those small incremental steps that will benefit not only us, but the world at large. And I think that's the thing that people need to be inspired by, is that there's so much access that I think there's a overwhelm in what to do and where to start. And so I think that's one of the great things that we could do, is just that what can I start today? Can I drink a little bit more water today? Can I have a little bit better positive self-talk with myself today? Can I get out and get some sunshine today? Can I look at the things in my life that are draining my energy and perhaps, maybe pick one and decide to let that go from my life? And then slowly but surely we start to feel better. We start to do better. We start to realize that the opportunity for us to use those experiences to make the world a better place collectively, we can do that. And in some areas of my life, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing people who have never done anything before stand up and do stuff and take those risks and those responsibilities. And I'm also seeing people that I admire and respect revert back to 6-year-old version of themselves and not do anything and feel helpless and hopeless. So I love this conversation.
If I can just add like a 45-second add on to this, because I know I like to keep it tight, as Sid likes to keep it tight.
Go.
Okay. Many years ago, when I had hair, I had an opportunity to go see John Maxwell speak. And he's one of a lot of guys here know who he is. And this probably wouldn't happen these days, but I did show up early, and I went through a door, and it happened to be the door to the backstage. And I go through the door, and about 30 feet away from me at a table, there's John Maxwell. So I asked the security guard, I go, hey, can I go chat with him? He goes, yes, which would not happen today. That wouldn't happen today. And I sat with him. We had a great conversation. And I said, John, you've written so many books about leadership. Like, how did you start? And you know what he said? I just started. I was expecting some complex, big, deep answer. He said, Dr. Vibe, I just started and I didn't quit. There you go.
Well, done is better than perfect, right?
Exactly.
You sometimes you got to jump and then build the parachute or the airplane on the way down.
Yeah.
Because so many people wait till it's perfect, and then they wait their whole lives and never gets done. That's why the cemetery is filled with unwritten songs and books and poems and unfulfilled dreams and everything else. So, yeah.
I love that, Tony. I mean, I have not written a book that I have not published, and then going back, I'm reading it out loud and I'm changing words in real time. Because it's just like that. I just have to let go and get in it. And that, Chris, you asked the question and what was that question you asked? Let me run it back.
A couple of different questions. What it is that we can do to inspire people to take that progressive action, to be responsible for their actions when a lot of people feel hopeless.
Well, I mean, and what I'll say for me is it's kind of like when people call me a healer, I'm often like, I don't really want that title. In order to be a healer, you got to bring me sick people. And I really want people to be healthy and happy and at peace. And although I can help people, that's a big thing for me. Like Goenka G, it wasn't my initial thought. Goenka G, when I was in 10 days in silence, said that if you have a job that requires people to be ill or broken or hurt, you're part of the problem. That's it. So I really, at this stage in my journey, I am looking to help as much as I can successful people be more successful, because I'd rather see everybody in success, period. And now, can we go higher? Sure. But I think for me, looking at myself is the biggest way that I can help other people, because I am the vibration of what I am pulling to me. Period, exclamation point. All of life is determined by your connection. I don't know why everybody's trying to call me right now. So decline him.
I like that said. I like what you stated, because a lot of people, they look good online, but offline is completely different. So the question is not can we post it, but can we sustain it? And can your family feel it? Can your future benefit from it? And when I hear that, as I stated, I have a lot of leaders that reach out to me. When they reach out to me, it's usually about business. But when the conversation gets into it, it's usually personal. And as you stated, it goes back to that self-worth and that self-help. Sometimes we have to take that time for ourselves. And I heard you state that you was in 10 days of isolation. Most men, when I talk to, when they're going through situations, whether it's through their marriage, a slump in their career, sometimes they don't know how to take that time for themselves. And I ask, man, what do you do for yourself? Do you go to dinner? No, man, I don't go to dinner. I go to lunch by myself. Why not? It's awkward. It's weird. Do you take yourself to a movie? So a lot of the times, if we can't take time and be with ourselves, and we're constantly in the doing it every day, that's the self-healing. So I love that you've been able to, as you say, 10 days. 10 days is a long time, man. Some people can't even take 30 minutes, let alone a couple of hours to give to themselves and be in deep thought. So I think that's not I think, I know that's part of the solution. We have to get one in ourselves and one with God.
Right on. I appreciate that. Somebody got a gerbil, I think I hear. Yeah, Tony, man, this is it's almost strange. And I say that because I see you in deep listening, and it's awesome. I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm not even going backwards. It's an observation for me of your own growth, in my opinion. Like, I can see it. And I've heard it not just here. Like, I heard it in your room the other day. Like, less reactive and stepping into. To me, that's the greatest thing you can become, is a listener. We got 2 ears, 1 mouth. If we listen, the more I listen, the more I actually add something that impacts. So I'm just curious, what's on your heart?
I'm just listening. There's a lot of us on stage today, so I'm just kind of absorbing. I agree with much of what's been said. Obviously, many of us are like-minded and like-hearted in that way. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on the most important things, which is being like-hearted and being out there to help people. In this particular case, we're talking about men's health and men's, how we're going to handle that. And we're just here, brother. We're just here. Ultimately, we're just here walking each other home, right? And if we can help one person overcome a challenge because we've been through that challenge, and I think the wisdom often comes from the difficulties, or not often, it always comes from the difficulties in our lives. There's a quote that I love to share that says, I've never met a strong person with an easy past, right? Mm-hmm. Because that growth comes from that struggle, and we have to honor the struggle. And that's not one of my lines. That's Brendan Burchard. His tagline is honor the struggle. And we really need to honor that struggle. Yesterday I was at another funeral, of somebody 56 years old. He was, he's a good dude, big in the community. Like he, politically as well. He's a good guy. And he was just driving, 7:30 in the morning, drunk driver going 90 miles an hour, ended it. Brad, Brad, his dad passed away this morning, like just after midnight. So life is precious. It's a delicate balance, and we just have to learn and grow through it. And one of the things that needs to be pointed out is, I think that if you learn something and you've figured a way of doing it better or growing through something faster, I think it's our duty to share it with other people. Right? Because otherwise, what's the point? And I don't think God puts us through things just to make us suffer. I think it's for us to learn so we can improve not just our lives, but the lives of those around us and help somebody else grow through it, right? Hence the whole, moniker of get up and grow, right? Helping people grow through what they go through. Because until you grow through it, you keep going through it. So, and that's just the thing that we've all got to remember is that, everything passes and we're really here to support each other. And to, like I said, going back to how I started this, to all help walk each other home.
Yeah, my question for everyone is, this is a men's circle. What's that tough thing that you went through that you now know? It's kind of like Dr. Vibe asking that question of, what is it that you've been through in your life that you've overcome? And I'll start just to give you all an opportunity to think about it. But mine is 4 relationships that started off looking like they'd be the walk it all the way home, only for them to break. I'm not even going to say fail because I learned I could go through all the different lessons in each and every one of them. It's kind of like Vision Quest. And then here I am with Liz, and not that I'm waiting for an argument, because I'm not. Like, I'm glad that we haven't had one, and I don't know, it's 10 years now.
Wow.
We had one moment in
What's
10 years, and it was pretty good. But every other time before it even became a moment, I just looked at myself and no, that's not where I'm going. I promised her when we got married, she would smile every day till the end. That's it. That's all I cared to do in my marriage, is to make sure she's smiling. Seems pretty easy from there. But that's been my overcome, is relationships. Just looking at myself enough to make all of my relationships glow. All of them. Like my best friend, when he lost his wife, I didn't have a clue how to be there with him. He was married for 16 years. And right before he showed up, I told Liz, I said, it's going to be what I would need. And the first thing when we walked in, I told him a moment. Liz and I were in the plane, and the sunrise came up, and it was beautiful. And Liz got all emotional. and I'm looking at the sun. I'm trying to look through the window. She's sitting in the window. I'm looking, and then she turns and she said, "What do you think about it?" And I was like, "I think there's a moment thief in here." and I told that to Rick in the moment when we got to the house, and that was it. It was just like, all right, we got to lighten the load here a little bit. And that's how it was, so that's literally what I try to do now with all relationships, is be what I want in my own life. That's it.
I love that, Sid. Can I ask you a question to go deeper on that for a second?
Yeah.
What role did your ego play in that, in being able to have that wherewithal to realize that you are part of the problem rather than the bravado of, well, I'm the man and this is the way they should be? Is there any part of that journey that you can share with us? Because I think a lot of that is what's happening now, is the ego.
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, along the way, it's I don't know. I've gone deeper into my highest self. If you're still here, I would say that your ego is playing. I don't give a darn how much you think it's not. If you're still on earth, your highest self has not yet come all the way in. you know, because I already know what that's going to look like when it lands. I already know. And so my ego was definitely a big part of it because I wanted to be better. Like at the end of the day, it was like, I'm just, do I want to do another relationship after this? Fortunately, my uncle said, hey, man, it's the last damn wedding I'm coming to.
No
So,
more
you
gifts
know,
for you.
I had a lot of checks and balances with the men around me. But it was definitely that, you know, and I'm okay with that. Like I love that I am in competition with my wife to see who can do more for the other one. Tell me it's wrong. Yeah, that's your problem. If you think that's wrong, hey, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you.
So, if I may jump in, I think this is something I said at the end of the show last time when Dr. Vibe and Coach stayed on. Um, you know, having emotional intelligence is huge. It's big, but that's not enough. It's what we need is emotional fitness, because knowing what to do and not doing it isn't enough. It's better than most people. Most people don't even have any emotional intelligence. They have zero. They're at a negative actually, right? But what we need, having emotional intelligence is great. Knowing what to do, how to respond, what to say is one thing, but having the emotional fitness to be able to actually apply that knowledge and that wisdom when you're going through it is a whole nother level, right? That's where the practice comes in. And so I wanted to highlight that. And then the other part of that, and this kind of goes to your question, Chris, and to Sid's answer, is that the next level of intelligence is the ability to watch almost like a third party, right? Like a disassociation, and watch you go through those things. And maybe before you react, you think, okay, let me see. This is what I'm going to do, but what happens and why am I doing that? And observe yourself, right? And observe your own thinking. That's just another level of awareness and intelligence. And I think that's how you get to the next level of emotional fitness, awareness, and just intelligence in general. I mean, and it's not that hard to do, but it's really not easy to do either. Just to slow yourself down enough to not react and respond. We spoke about that last week, right? It's about taking that pause, the power of the pause, to respond and not just react. Because usually that knee-jerk reaction is not a good one. Very few times is that the right thing. The other thing is to stop, pause, take a pause, think before you react, and then respond. Don't react. But again, the next level of that is to watch your own thoughts and analyze your own thoughts and be pensive and having that thinking time and unpacking that.
Well said, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in the book, it's called Stop, Listen, Feel. Stop what you're doing. If you're in a hole, especially, stop digging. You got to have the smarts to just stop doing the same crap. Yeah, it took me a while. Like, fortunately, my grandmom said, make a list of the perfect mate. Break up with the one you're with right now. Now make a list of the perfect mate. And then after I made 10 pages, she said, now go on as many dates as you can. If you find something wrong on the list in that person, fix it in you. You'll never see him again. It got to the point where I didn't want to go out on any more dates. I started giving women the book and saying, hey, will you read these 10 pages? Liz read it and started crying, and I knew she was the one. She said, how did you write me down in a book? It just took a long time to find it. That's all.
Well, some people don't even know what they want. So you got to start with what you don't want, right? In order to figure out what it is you want. What you put in what you don't want, and the opposite of that is what you actually want, right?
Right.
Love going through that exercise with people. Like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm looking for. Okay, what don't you want in life? What don't you want in business? What don't you want in your relationship? And then we also have to remember, everybody's trying to look for the right person. The truth is, and this goes for men and women alike, stop looking for the right person. Be the right person. Live the way that you work on yourself so you can be the person that somebody wants to date, that somebody wants to marry. Be the person you're looking for. And then that's going to attract that person into your life. You know, I said this in a show the other day. If so many people, the problem that we have in today's world is everybody's lived the fake it till you make it, fake it till you make it. And so you're not living your true self. because it's all fake, right? We live in a bit of a fake world. Social media, only highlight reels. Everybody's perfect, and the filters, and nobody's got any wrinkles, and all of that, right? The catfishing that's going on today is so next level, right? But the reality of it is, if you're always being fake and you're pretending, guess what you're going to attract? People that are fake, that are pretending. Then you both come together thinking you're both, these big bad boss babes and boss dudes, and you guys are killing it financially. You both come together and realize you can't even afford to go out to dinner, right? Because you've both been lying and catfishing, or the women that are like, anyway, there's a lot that can go, both men and women. Men are like, oh, you're too short. Men are like, well, you're too big. Or, there's a lot of things but we just got to be focused on being the best version of ourselves, for us being happy with us, so that then we can be happy with someone else, because happiness is an inside job. It comes from you. You can't be with someone, to make them happy. Like that quote that was going on forever. And it was a great movie. And I went with it too. You complete me, Jerry Maguire. Bullshit. You're not incomplete. You're a full person. And if you're waiting for someone else to complete you, then you're kind of screwed, because you're putting the key to your happiness in somebody else's pocket, right? So stop doing that. As a matter of fact, don't even be happy. The goal shouldn't be happiness, because happiness is contingent upon an action or someone doing, saying, whatever, life going a certain way. Our goal should be to be joyful.
Have you ever tried this? Has anyone else ever tried this? Taking 24 hours and make it the worst possible.
Huh?
Oh, bro, I don't want to be in jail. What are you talking about?
With the exception of something that would get you in jail. I did.
And I
laughed at every stupid thing I did. Like I'm making this one up. I didn't do it, but it would be something like leave crap in the toilet and watch someone walk in and just laugh my ass off at the stupidest of things. Those are the kind of things I do. Like, all right, let me leave the milk thing off. So when someone takes it out, it's just milk everywhere. Like, just stupid. Like, all types of just ridiculous pranks. And it allowed, in the moment with the person I was with, for us to just start laughing at things. It says, as opposed to, and I'm kind of that way. Like we typically decide on what we want, and we decided because we built it around a past globe that says this is what's going to be good for me. Well, I'm here to tell you, going blind, and I would have never said I want to go blind, but I went blind, and I look at the world differently. I was paralyzed, and I rejoice on my legs every day I use them. Like, so choosing the polar opposite of what we want, for me, freed me up.
It's kind of interesting, because the reality is we all, and this is a great old line. It's been around. I mean, Socrates probably quoted this one, is that you never know what you have until you lose it, right? And that goes for your eyesight, for your ability to walk, for the person, the woman you love, that man that you love, that relationship, that friendship, that kinship, that business, that opportunity, you name it. You never know what you have until it's gone. So appreciate what you have before it becomes part of your history, becomes part of the past.
Every day.
Right on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 10 minutes. So anybody got anything on their heart they really want to share? About time to bring it up, or forever hold your peace till next week.
Come on, Dr. Bob, you've been quiet this time.
Okay, well, okay. Just some general thoughts here that in some ways we're better than the men of the past, in some ways, because we have more information than before. The older generations had to figure things out with less access to education, the internet, public conversations. Like these conversations that we are having, did our dads have these? Did their dads have these? Something also too, we're more open about healing, and I consider this conversation healing for me.
I think they did, though, like in a different way. Like,
Yeah, maybe in a different way.
I haven't been to a barbershop in forever, but I know when I used to go to the barbershop, it was a good old time. Like, and people would cuss you out if you needed cussing out. And what,
True.
right?
It's
Like it
point
was,
taken.
that was the men's circle. Now, I mean, I can fade my own hair, so I don't need anybody to do that. I can do it in the back. I can do the whole thing, so I don't need to go. And I feel like getting us back to the human moments, cutting each other's hair, like look in the wild, like monkeys are braiding each other's hair, looking through each other's hair, protecting each other all the time like that. So I think there's something to getting to our human nature.
Yeah. There's a lot of
versus the
things.
stuff
I
we're
think
doing.
I think we have access to a lot more things, but it doesn't mean it's any easier.
I agree with you on that, Dr. Vibe. I definitely agree. And I stated earlier, we have access to information, more tools, but also is making us less reliant on nature.
Yeah.
I'm big on a confused man is easier to pull off course. This goes back to what Tony was saying, but a clear man is hard to manipulate.
Mhm.
I strive to be the better version of myself day to day. Day to day. I'm always doing something different. Whether I'm stretching more today, whether I'm praying more today, whether I'm giving my wife more kisses today, I'm always doing something to be better than I did yesterday. But we have to constantly keep moving. We have to constantly be doing the things that we're not used to doing. For example, how many of us, and I'm speaking to the men, even get in the ground and even put our hands in the soil? How many of our even doing gardening? Most people don't. Most men are not even doing that. We have gotten
Tony
away.
definitely is.
That's great. That's great. So things of that nature, man, we have to get back to the basics because this is what our parents and grandparents was doing. They was in the yard. They was walking through nature. And as you stated, they didn't have these tools that we had today, which I love today because it seemed like we're becoming more vulnerable to a certain degree. But as we're becoming more vulnerable, we're becoming more isolated because we're using technology. We don't have the barbershop experience that you spoke about, Sid. So because of that, we're getting away from the family environment. And I would tell you, as a person that has traveled the world, here in the Western world, family is not number one.
No, it's not.
We talk about family, but do we really practice family? Do we practice community?
I tell you where family is.
Where is it
Football.
at?
Football. Like 100%. It was this. Now I'm not saying that people didn't, and I was one. People didn't go outside the house and go do whatever and then come back to family because I definitely did that in that part of my life. I was 24 with a lot of responsibility that I may not should have. So anyway, with that being said, I feel like in football, God first, family second, team. Everywhere I ever coached, that's how they said it. And I'm sure, like they did in the military. Now, it wasn't always reflected that way, but at least they preached it. And I mean, preached it like nobody's business. So much that I got married at 24 because I was worried I wouldn't get a job if I wasn't creating family. Like it was real like that. And it wasn't me being a baby daddy and not, it was called all three of my kids were born by the time I was 30, and I was taking care of them and living into that idea, that concept, even though my idea of family is a little different now, but at least I had that aspect of thought at 24, where like everybody I know now is like, that's 24. They're like, you did what? Like, yeah, that's what it was. Oh no, I'm not sure that what did they call it the other day? I'm not sure if I'm ready to make a hard something. What they call it? Basically a hard commitment. But they've got this new hip way of saying a hard commitment. These younger people, and they don't want to make one.
No, they call something called YOLO. They live for the moment. They just say they live for the moment. And I would say I think we're part of the last of the dying breed. We're probably about 8 to 10 years apart. That's on this podcast.
I got one that he's real. Well, both of them are real. They're just both smart enough to say, Dad, we already saw what it looked like to have all these women coming and going. I'm just going to stay single till I find the one that's staying. So they took my life and flipped it and said, oh, no, these chicken heads that they've dated in the beginning, let them run with their bodies, you know. And so I think for me, when I look at it, because I think we can get caught in that concept of we know better. If we knew better, it would be better. So we don't. In my opinion, on everything that I've ever thought I knew better, I didn't know, or it would have just been done.
You know, and there's another thing, you know, YOLO, that's bullshit. It's actually, it should be YODO. You only die once because you live every freaking day. Right? People think they only live once. That's bullshit. They only die once. You live every day. Tomorrow's another opportunity to live a completely different life based on your decisions. I would say don't take Sid's advice. Don't make tomorrow the worst day of your life, because that shit will happen on its own. But the reality is you only die once. Well, actually, that's kind of arbitrary, because I already had an NDE, so technically I already died once. But for the most part, you know, the real death, you only die once, and people forget that every day is an opportunity to create a completely different life. So it's about just seizing the moment, being the best you can, and just going for it, because we're only here for this one little short journey, and we don't know when that's going to end.
I have a challenge out there I put to myself, but anyone else who wants to listen to it. Are you building stronger families, healthier communities, and better futures for the boys and young men of the future?
All right. Who else got a closing
that.
statement they want to make? Because it's 2 minutes. Who's got it?
My thing, I would just like to, and thank you guys for all sharing today. I've learned quite a bit from you guys. I think the big thing is, like, you know, just taking a look at yourself from within and asking yourself the question, am I happy with myself? Do I like myself? Do I love myself? And instead of like projecting out on what's wrong with everybody else and what's wrong with this, and oh, I wish that was different, turn that focus inward and really take a look at the things you're tolerating from yourself, the things you're tolerating from others, the things you're tolerating from inanimate objects, and decide to make a difference in those areas of your life and take that responsibility. Like we said at the beginning of the conversation, take that responsibility to lead by example, and by executing those actions and making yourself a little bit more prouder every single day. I wake up with the intention every single day of gratitude. And what are my intentions today? And then when I go to sleep at night, I look back on my day and I'm like, what am I most proud of? Did I take that extra step? Did I push myself outside of my comfort zone? Did I make a difference in somebody else's life? Was I present and playful with my kid? And some days I get to the end of the day and I'm like, you know what? I didn't do necessarily a great job. So tomorrow I'm going to make that extra concerted effort. And as we do that, that opportunity for our growth and our love begins to expound, and it begins to attract other opportunities in our life. But if we continue to focus on what we hate and what we don't like and what we disagree with, we're going to invite more of that turmoil into our life. And because we do this men's circle, it's important for people to take that ownership today, because you don't have necessarily a guarantee for tomorrow. So I just inspire everybody to go out there and live with intention and gratitude and impact, and be the best you possibly can be for yourself, and share that shit with other people.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, fellas, it's been great. I'm going to close with this statement. An NDE is not a DIE, because I've been there twice. If people say you should be dead, nope, I don't think so. Because if I should be, I would be, and I'm not. So go live today. All right, peace.
I've been at peace for so long, it seems like I've been sitting all alone. Would you know when the crew is coming through? They're the ones that will make anew. Gotta go, gotta flow, gotta choose the truth. We the ones that will raise the roof. Let's roll up and throw down. Let's go and feel the sound. Good vibes.
go and take it till we bounce the beat. Take it to the streets, make a move the feet. I can slow it down, look in my eyes now. Just like you two want it fast. Spread them wings and make it last. God was the one to erase the past. Time to bring it forward to see the forecast. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. That was God's broadcast. That was God's broadcast. Time to embrace the peace. Time to embrace the peace.